Well,
I think we got it. I seen it there. Welcome in, everybody. It is Thursday night barbecue chat. Sorry for the little weird introduction here, but it says we're trying something new tonight. We're able to stream out to Instagram as well, so we're giving that a shot, seeing how it's going. I do see something we're having trouble streaming Instagram. If you ended it on Instagram, that's yours. Mine looks like it's good, so sorry.
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
We'll see.
Yeah, mine didn't.
That's all right. Terry White, good evening, sir. How are we doing? Welcome in. Ding ding.
Right,
so Thursday night barbecue chat. I got another great guest on the show tonight.
That's all right, everybody. It's Thursday, and it is again Thursday night barbecue. As Ryan just said, I'm Steve Kress. I'm the grill department manager over at Wanamakers in lovely, beautiful downtown Downers Grove, and the host here at Thursday night barbecue chat, along with my good friend sitting next to me, as always, the chairman of the board, Barbecue Blackstone and Beer Group, Mr. Ryan Hoagland. And we do have a great guest this week. It's a long string of guests. And, I didn't even realize it as I was looking through the pictures to find pictures of our guests this week. We have somehow, we've gotten a lot of the judges from the World Food Competition in the last 3 or 4 weeks because we had Famous Dave and then we had Harry Sue. And then today we have Miss Lee Ann Whippen. So, could you have a better run of people?
I don't know. The one person here right now is, lucky. I don't understand.
Lucky guy. Yeah.
Guys, if you are watching, hit the share button right now. Share it out. 1 or 2 friends. That's all we ask. Helps us keep us going and get more people in here. And don't forget, if you got to do any shopping, make sure you go to barbecueproshop.com. Use code chat10 for 10% off your order. Thank you for calling Movie Phone. Anyways, back to the guest and the main reason why we're here tonight, Miss Lee Ann Whippen. Welcome to the stage. How you doing this evening?
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Great.
We're doing pretty good, except my Instagram didn't function correctly, but that's okay. Sometimes.
Well, I'm looking at it on Instagram. I see it.
Mine's working.
You're working on it. Ryan.
You're on the right page. It's okay. Just stick with that one.
Yeah, Ryan's is working. Mine didn't function. And of course, I'm the one that did the test broadcast, and it's not functioning. So
I give him credit for it. He did some technical work that he normally doesn't do.
And then, of course, when it comes time to perform, Ryan, again, I failed.
It's all right. Just like your burger.
No. Hey, Mr. Adams on here from I can't even say Germany. I always want to say Germany anymore.
He's back in the States.
Yeah, he's out there. I think, is it Arizona or is it California, Adam?
I think he was in California and he's headed to Arizona, I believe.
He's going to end up in Arizona. He's got his mind on a Weber grill that he keeps talking to me about. So we'll see if he actually gets that Weber grill.
Well, Lee Ann, for those, he's in, we'll get back to this. Then we'll get to the main thing. He's in Arizona. Like I said, I knew what I was talking about. But anyway, Lee Ann, welcome to the show. Sorry about our little banter.
Oh, that's all right. We're late.
Welcome to the show. For those that don't know you, let's hear a little bit about yourself and how you got into barbecue.
Well, it goes back to my dad, of course. Jim Trim Tab. A lot of people know him from years ago. And he was born and raised on my grandmother's hog farm in Lexington, Missouri. So we'd always go to Missouri and go to Gates and Arthur Bryant's and all that. And then he got involved with Carolyn Wells and Gary and got into the KCBS. And he and I both got our judging certificates together probably 30 years ago. And that was probably the wisest thing I did prior to competition, knowing what the judges are looking for. And I highly recommend doing that. And so I called him up one day and said, Georgia is having a state competition. You want to do it? And he said, I don't know. He had an Oklahoma Joe and a tow behind and offset. And he said, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. So Stone Mountain, Georgia. And that was, 1996, I think it was. And I said, they're having a whole hog competition too. If we want to do whole hog, he said, absolutely not. Let's just go and get our feet wet, whatever. So I hung up the phone, and then 5 minutes later, he calls me up and he goes, what size hog do you want? So we ended up doing whole hog on that Oklahoma Joe and all 4 categories, also bullet too. And we took 5th in whole hog, and we ended up winning grand champion, went to the Royal, took 1st place in pork, got 5th or 7th in chicken. You know, it was a long time ago. I mean, it's funny when I look back at the pictures because it was just like a pop-up tent for the awards, you know. Now it's like a stadium.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, so once I, you know, did that, that was all she wrote. And I was in the hotel industry and food and beverage, and kept my day job and bought a rig. And that was in, gosh, 2002, maybe even before that. And then started doing competitions. And then I quit my day job, opened up a restaurant, and then the story goes on and on and on.
Wow.
That's one way to jump into a competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do whole hog, and what would you say, 5th place?
Yeah, we got 5th in whole hog. My dad is, he was very funny. So we did what we call the trapezoid cut. So on the side of it, we cut the skin into a trapezoid, and then we put the pig powder in there, you know, to make sure it was on the meat too. So, and then we took broomsticks and chicken wire to flip it. And it was very difficult because the Oklahoma Joe, I don't know if you know it, but it's, you know, it's kind of not a large diameter, and it has a centerpiece. And I remember trying to tilt it and then getting it out, and it was a chore. I'm glad it wasn't on-site judging.
Yeah, right.
That way.
Wow. I mean, some people just win a competition and then it's like they're hooked. I mean, you did your competition, then went to the Royal and all that other stuff right off the bat.
Yeah, it was something. Yeah, it's quite surreal when I look back at it and think about all that.
I mean, we were happy for 17th overall in our first competition.
I haven't even had my first competition yet, man, so.
Yeah.
Well, it was exciting. And yeah, so barbecue's my life now.
It's a great life to have.
It is a great life. There's nothing wrong with a life like that.
No, I have absolutely no regrets, except for the time that I spent in the restaurants away from my children. That's about it. But they say, you know, my kids, my 2 daughters are absolutely, really, they are angels. And they say it's because I was never around them. They tease me. No, I was a good mother.
Yeah, but then you went from how many competitions do you think you finally ended up doing before? I mean, you went from one crazy thing to the next, because then you got into the restaurant.
Do you know
business.
that I have every single from every comp? I have every single packet of score sheets. I have them in a big binder. I've never counted them, but I have done the map of the United States. It's somewhere around here. I should have it out. But I've highlighted every state that I've, you know, competed in. And the last one I did was in Lakeland about 3 years ago with my daughter and her husband. And that was a rude awakening because I hadn't competed in a while, you know, and things have changed. They aren't like the old days. And I'm actually considering doing Lakeland in 2025 as well.
Oh,
so we'll see.
Yeah, because then you like I said, then you went from the craziness of competition to then I believe you went to the restaurant industry, which is a whole nother craziness.
In Chesapeake, Virginia, opened up 3 of them actually there, and then I got a call from a guy in Chicago saying, help me out with this restaurant here. And then off to Chicago I went. And yeah, that kind of fell apart after 5 years. But immediately went on with another group and was there until 2018. So I was there about 8 years and then moved down to Tampa and opened up a restaurant down here, which COVID kind of was the demise of that. But I swore I'd never get back into the restaurant biz. And I'm kind of surprised that I've stayed out of it. I've been very tempted, but I think I'm over the hump now. I think I'm over it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are like, you know, why don't you open a restaurant? And I'm like, no, I enjoy cooking. Like,
yeah,
I don't not enjoy it.
Like the restaurant business, it's just that the profitability right now is not worth the aggravation and time. Yeah. It's not worth the blood, sweat, and tears right now, in my opinion. I mean, you can still make a profit, but if you get into a multiple partner and investor situation, it's not going to be very lucrative. It's just going to be a lot of work.
Yeah.
Was there how much more was there back then before COVID? Was there a lot more ability to do that kind of?
Well, I started wood chicks on my own by myself, so all wood chicks were me entirely. I couldn't get a loan from the banks, you know, even when I got my trailer, I wrote a check through my credit card company, believe it or not.
Wow.
And it was all me, and it was finagling money around. And so I didn't have to split the profits with anyone. And I'm very numbers oriented. So I made all that work. And then when I had the partner in Chicago, that's when, things are not good, when you get partners that just don't work out. And so anyway, the second group that I went with, they were absolutely fantastic. They just couldn't find property in Chicago that was affordable to open up a place where I could, be a partner in it. So I saw that and I was like, I need to be closer to my mom and my daughter. And so that's why I moved here to Florida.
Nice. Well, it's probably a wiser move. Yeah, I don't think anything property in Chicago.
I miss Chicago, though. I'm not going to lie. I like Chicago.
I never made it down to the restaurant, but I know it. I was reading on that too, and I know that that was a mess in itself, and I apologize.
Yeah, but you know what?
Yeah.
I don't regret it because it allowed me to do a high-end barbecue concept that I could not do in Virginia. It never would have flown there. So I really don't have any regrets about it. It's just unfortunate the way it ended.
Correct.
Anyway, no regrets.
Well, as famous Dave, who was on a couple weeks ago, all failures are learning experiences. So I guess.
Oh, he'll tell you. He's told me his war stories.
He says if you don't fail, you don't learn as much as you probably should. I mean, that was a very enlightening. He's a very enlightening. That was a very enlightening episode. That's for sure. You
should talk to Dave Raymond, Sweet Baby Ray's. He'll tell you his war stories too. He's. I don't know if you've had him as a guest, but you need to have him. He is a really good guest.
I have to try and get him. I've actually seen him in person. Never had a chance to.
Yeah,
he's been to the store a couple times.
Very knowledgeable soul and very interesting. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's been to a couple things at the store, but we've never had it's always been an event, so we've never had a time to just sit down and chat barbecue. But I'll have to reach out to Deuce to see if he's
Deuce will get him. Yeah,
if he'll do shows, but I'm sure he would. He's very generous with helping out.
Give it a shot.
Poor souls like me and Ryan who are running the show.
Yeah, we
use all the help we can get.
I'm gonna get caught up here real quick. Hey Michelle, how we doing? We got our good buddy Johnny Cremete, Felicia. Oops, nope, it moved on me. Felicia, Johnny says much respect for Team Woodford.
Aw, thanks, Johnny. That's so nice.
Girls and Vittles with Nick and Jay. One up with the ding ding, and then Johnny again. Love me some Sweet Baby Rays.
Yeah.
And also a ding ding. And I did just flip over to Instagram since it's our first time streaming on Instagram. I see we got Keith over there from Griddle Boys. Says, gentlemen, what's going on? It's a little different. Emlyn Thomas just joined on Instagram as well. That's awesome.
Ah.
Oh, that's nice. I kind of disappeared for a little bit.
Yeah, we had to flip. The comments don't show up here using StreamYard, so I'm kind of flipping back and forth. So if I look like I'm staring off into space, it's because I can't see it here.
Well,
there you go.
That's his excuse this week.
Right,
I'm very honored to be the test dummy tonight.
No, that's just Steve. And then Greg Snyder just stopped in.
Oh, Greg.
Who's that? Oh, Greg Snyder. Yeah, Greg's awesome.
Hi, Greg.
All the time.
Greg's awesome.
Oh,
yeah,
Emlyn said he's watching us on Instagram from Aruba. I mean, I really feel bad for you right now. I really
wow.
do. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right. Anyways, all right. So end the show. See you guys later. Have a good night. I'm going to Aruba.
I'm going to Aruba. I'm going to go watch with Emlyn.
Yeah.
So. But anyway, but how did you get into from doing competitions in the restaurants? And did the competition get you into the TV aspect of it? Did they ask you to be on, Barbecue Brawl or something?
The Throwdown with Bobby Flay, the Food Network reached out to me and they asked me to send them a DVD or whatever, a video of how to cook pork for dummies. And they said it was for a show called Grilling Gals. I don't know, it was something like that. And so I said, okay. And I did it. It had to be like a 2-minute thing. And I sent it to them, and they immediately got back to me, and they said, well, we're going to come down for 3 days. And what we'd like you to do is, if we can do it at the restaurant, and behind the restaurant, well, I was attached to like a farm fresh supermarket, so there's plenty of room. They said, set it up like a buffet and invite your restaurant people. So I actually had like the local police, the fire department, I had everybody out there, and we set up a buffet, and they followed me to where I got my wood, and, just, for a few days. And then Bobby Flay was not there. They never said a peep about it being the Throwdown. I had never seen the show before, the Throwdown, so I didn't even know what it was about. And so I'm out there, doing my thing. And all of a sudden, the side, like behind the Farm Fresh, I see a truck pulling up, and Bobby Flay gets out of it. And then I knew that was it. And at that point, my pork was already cooked. I didn't know what we were doing, but they had 2 KCBS judges there, and we had to do a pulled pork sandwich, and we had to do coleslaw. And we were judged blindly, and I ended up winning that. And Bobby Flay was extremely gracious. He loves pig powder, and he couldn't say enough about that. And he invited us to a show he was in town for. My mom and I went in the back and hung out in the green room with him and everything. Yeah, it was quite the experience. So that was my first like breakthrough. I did a lot of local TV. And then Barbecue Pitmasters reached out to me, and there really wasn't anything like that. So I didn't know what to expect. And I know the paperwork that I had to fill out was grueling. And I was like, I don't know if I even want to do this. And so I ended up, making it on the show. And it kind of snowballs from there. You kind of get in the loop, like Chopped reached out, when I was on Chopped, and of course I got chopped. You kind of get in the loop, and then people reach out to you and they ask you, like I've been asked to be on the Grocery Games and a bunch of other shows, and that aren't really barbecue related. They're more like food competition, which I'm okay with, but I'm more into barbecue. So I just graciously decline. And the Barbecue Brawl was an incredible experience, probably the hardest show that I've been on. And that was cool. I like that one too.
Yeah, I love barbecue as well. My body doesn't, but it's all right.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, the barbecue brawl changed since when you were on till like now? Because I watched it once, and they were cooking a lot of dishes that weren't barbecue, where it was kind of like barbecue.
Yeah,
brawl,
well, I was on the
become
first
like a food
season.
show.
So I was on the first season. So of course they analyze everything, and they look at audience things. There's all different things that go into how they're going to tweak it and change it. And it definitely was more meat centric, barbecue centric on the show that I was on. And we had to actually fight to get the meat. First off, like there would be limited amounts of, say we're doing tacos, there'd be limited amounts of skirt steak, and they'd throw in a brisket or, a round steak or whatever. And you were at the mercy of like physically battling to get the meat that you wanted out of the cooler. And that I did not like about the show, because you're at the mercy of a bad cut of meat where you could take a nice piece of meat and make it into the dish that you would succeed in. So that I did not like about this particular show. And I don't think they really do that anymore. And also the show is a lot longer now. And it's weird how it's more game show, like, they can steal people and all that. I'm just more about let's, cook and, let's see who wins. Don't turn it into a show that is a competition within the show and strategy. I'm not about that. I still enjoy the barbecue brawl, but it has changed over the years.
Yeah, I was just out in Utah at Blackstone, and we did a griddle crew throwdown on the Blackstones there. And I think there was 9 teams, so there was 18 of us. 2 people on a team competing, and it's we're standing there behind at our station, and we can look at the table and see what's all there. But I had a row in front of me, so we were back here, and then another row in front of me, and the table's on the other side. So I had to go all the way around trying to get to everything. And of course, by the time you get there, what you're going for is.
Well, I'll tell you, the same thing happens in Chop too. So you don't know what's in that basket until you open the basket. First off, that is the truth. And they have a pantry and they have the area where equipment is. Okay. So I had Blue Mesa. All right. Hello. I don't know what Blue Mesa is at the time. I'm a wreck. And they only had one tortilla press. So only one person can get that press. Otherwise, and it's kind of the same thing with Chopped, at least on the show that I was on, that you're at the mercy of the equipment. And I will tell you, on the brawl that happened, they had limited stuff. And I remember it was carrots I was doing, and I burnt the carrots, and I went back to get more carrots, and there weren't any more carrots. And I'm asking the producers, I need carrots. And they actually went to the store and got the carrots. But if somebody else wanted to do carrots, if they were gone, then they're gone, so it's, right. You got to work with what you have. I guess that's part of the competition,
Yeah, there was definitely one thing. I mean, we had to do, there was a cover with 2 items in it that we didn't know what it was. So it was the same concept there. We had honey and mac and cheese. So of course we had to cook the mac and cheese on a griddle, and I didn't have a pot, so I put an aluminum pan down there, and then I went back for a strainer. There's no strainer, so I had to put another aluminum half pan on top of that and hold it together to drain it. And then, yes, as Nikki says in here, the thing that I wanted, and it was gone, there was 1 pineapple.
Yeah, that happens.
And they got it, and they won with the pineapple. But I just didn't get there.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's all for fun, and what we're doing. So, Gene, how you doing? Welcome in.
So I don't do hardly any competitions anymore, except maybe this Lakeland thing next year. I do a lot of judging. I'm a Pit Boss brand ambassador, which I enjoy. So I go to special events. I have done some miscellaneous stuff like just benefit stuff that have kids involved, and I teach, kids barbecue. Of course, my sister and I sell my dad's rub pig powder, and I have a new pig powder coming out, a spicy one. So I'm finishing up on the labels on that. I've already finished the recipe, and I hope everyone likes that when it comes out. And then about 2 weekends out of the month, I do Sam's Club Super Chef, which is in conjunction with the World Food Championships, and I judge there every year. And it's nice because it isn't like opening a box at Sam's Club and heating it up, and throwing it out to the people. You're actually showing people how to make a particular recipe with the ingredients that are available at Sam's Club, and then how versatile it is, and you can, switch out ingredients. But October is a big month because it's Smoketoberfest, and I'm going to be in 2 different stores here in Florida, and actually cooking briskets overnight and then serving briskets the next day. So, that's going to be interesting. But it's I've really enjoyed doing that, and keeping busy. Going to Riverview next weekend for their competition, which is Q for the Cure. And then I go to the Jack to judge, and then the Worlds in November, and keeping busy.
Interesting. Wow. Yeah, Greg thought you were going to the Key West Invitational, he said. Yeah.
You know what? I talked to them about that, and it just I ended up working Sam's Club. So, they put me on schedules that are a couple months out. So I would like to do that. I think that's a very cool thing.
Yeah, it's a very, very neat invitation. How would you think that? Obviously, going back, 30 some years or so, how is the barbecue competitions changed from back then to what they are now? Case in point, I had Chris Marks on a while back, and we were talking when I had the other show, and we were talking about the difference. And back then nobody was using Wagyu briskets and the big expensive ribs and all this other stuff. It was regular meat.
I will tell you that that's a little bit of a misnomer. I will agree on the brisket part of it, but I used to go and get my chickens from a kosher market, and I brined them way back in the day. I did that. The pork ribs, I worked heavily with Compart Duroc years ago. And so I was using high-end pork, but the brisket, I see the biggest change in for sure. It was usually, trying to take a IBP commodity, brisket, and yeah. And at least in the big box stores, you could fish through them, and true for ribs. But that there's been a drastic change. It's become a lot more expensive, obviously, but the guys who are doing the brisket and the way that they cut it and the process that they use, I would cook like 4 briskets. I mean, they're like cooking 1 brisket, these guys. I'm like, how can you just cook 1? Right. So when you look at 4 briskets, and 1 brisket, I mean, in essence, I would cook a whole case of ribs. That was my biggest downfall. I would cook too much meat. I was always safety in numbers, and I learned that was not the right thing to do. And I see that has definitely changed. The boxes, I used to turn in whole chickens cut up. I even did that at the Royal. I really wish that KCBS would make it mandatory to cook white meat as well. I mean, the Jack does it. Why can't, you know what I mean? At least you'll get the guys that are going, and guys and girls that are going to the Jack prepared, because they aren't used to that, But, the garnish hasn't changed that much. The box is still the same. The turn-in times are the same. Yeah, it's really the flavor profile. It's always been sweet, always. It's really the quality of the meat and the process and the separation of the meats, like, on your pork butts. That's just crazy, the things that I see. But whatever works, you got to win some money to pay for this fun little sport.
Yeah, it's definitely not cheap. That's you're talking about trimming the brisket. I know the barbecue bus. He puts his videos out on YouTube and everything, and just watching him trim a brisket down, and
I almost start crying, when I see what they turn it into. But it works. And the problem is social media wasn't prevalent back then. So you were kind of on your own. Now everything's out there. So everybody's copycatting everything. So there's really no diversity in the cooking like there used to be. And the flavor profile, everyone's using like the same sauces and,
right.
But it comes down to who cooks well, and who can turn in and make the meat the best at that time. And there's a lot to it. It isn't just about the meat and the presentation. You have to be a good cooker. I mean, you just have to be.
Yeah. Rick says we can thank Myron for the high dollar briskets.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Famous Dave brought that up when we were talking too. Is he kind of misses in the barbecue competitions, he kind of misses a lot of that originality because of exactly what you were saying, that everybody kind of, whoever's winning, that's who everybody's copying, and everybody loses some of that individuality from different regions of the country and this and that, because everybody's trying to get the same profile.
Yeah. They're trying to appease the judges, as they say. I'll tell you, when I judge, if somebody's going to, have the guts to turn in white and dark meat on a chicken, I'm going to be seriously looking at that. Brisket, there's not a whole lot you can do, but, it kills me, the money muscle. I'll be honest with you, back when I won first place at pork at the Royal, money muscle wasn't even talked about. But I have pictures of it that is what I would turn in, but I wouldn't separate it. I was slicing it on a diagonal, and it was the money muscle. Now that I look back on it, I was like, oh, I didn't even realize I was doing that. But it is the best part of it. But when people try to convert the money muscle into they're chopped or they're pulled or whatever, it's like the whole thing is money muscle. I like some of the tastes of the other muscles in that shoulder, And I appreciate it when somebody will turn that in and make it delicious. So,
yeah.
Interesting. So now you do the world. How is judging the world's? How does that compare to judging? You're going to the Jack, and I know they're kind of like two different animals, but
food championships, I absolutely love it. It's a different judging system, but their creativity that they can do, it's like their hands aren't tied, and they make fabulous barbecue, but into really cool stuff, and I just look forward to it every year. And last year I sat there. It was an unusual situation. It was the finals, and they had, actually it was right before finals, but they had like 4 of us up on the table, and they kept switching out people, and they asked if it was all right if I stayed through the whole process, every single turn in, and I forget how many there were. And they said, do you realize how many there is? There was like 30 or something like that. And I said, yeah, I can do that. And I sat there the entire time, and I did it. I paced myself, but I did it. I can eat a lot. Wow. But I really do enjoy the creativity. And it's more exciting, and it still is a challenge for them to get the right amount of smoke and that tenderness and the flavor. You still have all that criteria, but it's definitely more fun to judge. It's probably tougher to compete.
Especially when everybody's doing the same things. I won't go into the griddle battle too much, but that's the one. Come on, see, I got to bring up.
Let me ask a question first because I asked Dave, and I don't know if we really ever got to the. Do you find that in KCBS and not to get anybody in trouble or anything, but is it, you think it's the way they're instructing their judges to look for a certain profile, or is that, how is it developed that some of the originality that you get at World Food isn't into like a KCBS competition?
Well, the flavor profile, I guess, when you think about people in general, is probably most palates like it. It's just that some of us don't, and we're the ones that speak up. I have not taken the judging class in a very long time, so I can't say, because I don't know how they teach them now. I do know when I took it, I remember they were more about, when they bite into the bone, it shouldn't fall off the bone, and you should see moisture bubbles on the bone, and there's, it should be bite through. And I remember all that stuff, but I don't really remember them talking about flavor profiles. It was more about the proper way the meat is supposed to be cooked. And, when things are over smoked, what it tastes like, because they do give you food, and, they give you kind of, what's good barbecue and what's bad barbecue. But I really don't remember that part of it. I do think there has to be something out there, though, that's being said or communicated, because they all go for that sweet flavor. I don't know.
Yeah. Ryan, did you take when that class was in Peoria? Did you take the judging class?
That's where I originally went. Yeah, when the first time I did.
How did they mention
you with like a sweet sauce on it and say, this should be given a 9 for,
No, taste. It definitely wasn't like that. And when I went to the class, my expectation was, I was really excited, because I was like, I want to taste some first place barbecue. Right. I want to know what it tastes like. And it wasn't anything like that. It was, we're going to give you this. And like they, some of them, they stuck a piece of aluminum foil in it, just to catch that. And, I think one of them was, I can't remember what it was. One of the categories, they put a different meat in it or something. I can't
just
remember.
To trip you up.
Just to see if you'd catch it. Yeah. And it wasn't everybody. It was like one out of the whole table that was there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, they definitely didn't give you, this is what it should be. They're telling you to use your own opinion and
right.
Just go with it from there. But it was definitely, I learned a lot more than I thought I was going to on the judging side than just going to eat a first place. I want to eat a 180 rib,
Think about it though. Competitors know the judges want sweet sauce, so that's what they're turning in. So how is it ever going to change?
Yeah.
It isn't necessarily the judge's fault for liking sweet sauce because that's what they're getting.
Right.
You know, I mean,
or you get the ones that don't like spice. You know, oh, that was too, you know, somebody says, oh, this is a super sweet sauce. And the judge next to him goes, God, that was really spicy.
everyone's palate's different.
Everybody's palate's different. And it's hard.
You'll get people that'll say, oh my God, that's so salty. And I'll be like, I don't taste any salt.
Right.
Everybody, you know,
little boys, you know,
luck of the judge, you know, it's part of it.
Paul Buon from Smoking Ghost said, you know, his profile changes depending on where he's going.
Right.
If it's north or south.
I will agree with that because I would do that. Like if I was in the Carolinas, I'd add a little more vinegar to it.
Right.
But it can't be drastic. It just can't be drastic. But I do agree with that. Yeah, it's good that. But, you know, you're getting judges now that are traveling. They aren't necessarily from the state you're competing in.
Right.
Right. So.
Yeah.
Well, I was just curious because I mean, everybody that we had, you know, Harry Sue and Famous Dave and anybody else that's competed in the worlds and this and that, they all say you know, and judged, I should say, and judged as well. They all say the same thing. They love the freedom and the originality of things that are going through at the World Food. And it just seems that I'm surprised that some of that hasn't trickled down or translated to some of the other competition worlds.
I don't know. Maybe it will someday.
That's what I mean. Just like, you know, Greg said, like 5 years ago, somebody won ribs with a dry rib, you know, no sauce. But every time we go out for the barbecue love tour, when we're ordering our food and stuff, I'm like, when I get it and I forget to tell them no sauce, I don't want to taste your sauce. I want to taste your cook.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I think I just saw someone pop up that somebody won with a dry rub. Good for them. You know, good for them for having the guts to do it. Believe me, I like a dry rub better than anything with sauce on it. And if somebody's going to turn in something that, you know, might not be that shiny, you know, beautiful rib, I honestly think a dry rib looks more enticing than a sauced up rib. I'm going to score higher, but yeah, these competitors just, there's too much money on the line. They're not going to take those risks. They just aren't.
Yeah. That's what I was just going to say, especially now with the cost of everything, and you're going to the Royal, and you're not going to try something out of the box original. You know.
It's never going to change if the competitors don't turn in something else, and they aren't going to do that because they don't want to lose. So, you know, everyone's like, oh, it's the judges that like all the sweet sauce. Well, yeah, they do, but that's what you turned in, right? So how do you know they didn't like the spicy sauce?
Because they didn't try the dry rib, you know, with no sauce, and they love it more. I mean, it's like the first time when I was younger, like younger when I was like a steak. No, it's got to be medium well. Like, I don't want to see blood in it. I don't want to see that red. And the first time they brought me a steak and it was medium rare and I didn't realize it, and I took a bite and I was like, where did all that flavor come from?
Yeah.
Look at Greg's yelling.
Greg says, I wanted KCBS to start a mentor new teams program. I did it 1 year here in Georgia and told don't come back.
Hey, it'll save you a lot of time and aggravation, Greg.
Yeah. I think a mentor program would be pretty. I mean, you got to keep exciting the next generation. Otherwise, you're going to run out of people.
I agree. And yeah, I mean, the World Food Championships is a totally different deal. I mean, yeah, they've got the barbecue there, but it's about all different kinds of, you know, different dishes. So
that's what I'm saying. I know Steve gives me a hard time because I bring up the griddle battle. I started the griddle battle, so it's just like a barbecue competition, but it's all on flat tops.
I love that.
And you know, you're talking about the creativity, and it just opens it up so much to do whatever you want to do, like Griddles and Vittles with Nick and Jay. The first competition we did last year down in Eureka, Illinois, I had a burger category and sandwich maybe, but they did a jalapeno popper, Juicy Lucy, deep fried burger. And other people are turning in just a regular burger, you know, and it's like the creativity just comes out and it just rolls out. And I believe in burger they tied per burger for first place. I mean, it was just.
I'll tell you, that's why I do ancillaries. I figure I'm already there. I might as well do. I always do the ancillaries.
Yeah.
Everyone says, "Oh, you should focus on the barbecue." Nope. I like to do them. It's fun. It's creative. It's extra cash. It's gas money. It might not be a lot, and I've had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, you have a creativity as part of their score.
Creativity is part of the score. Yeah, that or part of the judging side of it. So, somebody turns in. We do a breakfast. Oh, but it was breakfast and burgers is what we did for the first year. So somebody turns in a stack of pancakes. Okay, great. Oh, this guy turned in a stack of red velvet pancakes. Well, you just took it from a stack of pancakes to, oh my gosh, all right, something totally different.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So your creativity is going to go high.
Sure.
So Griddles and Vittles, Nick and Jay, they said technically we had more fives. They tied for first, and I think it was burger that you guys tied for first in, right? But yeah, that's the creativity side is just, and I'll tell you what, like I love to cook. I cook more on my flat top than I do my smoker. That was given to me from Wanamaker's in beautiful Downers Grove, Illinois. So go buy some stuff at Wanamaker's. But so I do a lot more flat top cooking, but going there and organizing the whole thing and seeing every single thing that was turned in, I was like, I would have never thought of this. Like, I'm glad I wasn't competing in that.
Because you would freak out if you went to the Worlds and you saw what they turned in barbecue. You would just be mind blown.
Yeah. Mind
blown.
Yeah, right.
That's how good they are.
I want to go.
These are like old school guys that are some of them that are competing there, and I just sit there and I'm like, I'm so proud of you, for like really stepping it up, and it's amazing. It really is amazing. I love it.
Yeah, right. The World Food's in Indianapolis, Ryan. I'm really thinking of that road trip.
It's November 8th through the 12th, I think, something like that. I can't wait.
I think it's only 2 hours away. I think that might be
3. It's a 4-hour drive.
It is not. It's a 3-hour drive.
3 hours and 45 minutes.
Well, the thing is, if they do it like they always do, they have a stage, and you aren't going to be able to taste the food, but they have a red carpet, where they're turning in their trays. So you can stand and you can look at the stuff that's going by. And sometimes there's some judging areas where they have a table out where you might be able to see the stuff. So I don't know how much, you're going to get out of it.
I just like to see it.
It's a cool vibe.
I'm part of the, I enjoy eating the stuff. And I'm not going to say that I don't go to the competitions and don't, enjoy eating the leftovers that's not turned in, but, I love the intensity of it. I like watching the faces and the stress and see how people handle the stress and the intensity of it.
The chefs cook right in front of you, all the, miscellaneous categories. Barbecue is kind of tough. I mean, you can still walk around and see that, but you can really watch them do the whole thing. It's kind of cool.
That was it 2 or 3 years ago? It was in Dallas, right?
Oh yeah, it was in Dallas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I was invited to go down there with Blackstone because they had a tent down there, and my father was here. We were putting an addition on the side of the house for my kitchen, and so I wasn't able to go. But they were all down there. Some of my friends were down there. They just had a blast down there. I would have loved to have been down there.
I'll tell you, I was there. I competed in the Worlds when it was in Vegas, and you talk about a competition, man. It was unbelievable. And I was there with my daughter, and we actually took first runner-up, and that's when they made it into a TV show. So that was really cool. And I remember my final dish that we were allowed to turn in whatever we wanted. I turned in lamb chops. Wow. Yeah, so they let us, do things back then. And I actually won first place in potato salad, of all things. Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
Let's see. Greg said, try to come to the shed in 2025. It's a mini conference with NBBQA.
Brooke and Brad were on last week. They said it's going to be like it's going to be a 4-day event or something like that. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. Grill and chill with Mojo. Because of Ryan, I want to get some ostriches.
Yeah,
I did
Ryan cooked an
when I was
ostrich.
in Logan. I did an ostrich egg and a tomahawk cook.
Ah.
And I still have the shell.
Oh, that's cool. It must have been a very big tomahawk.
It was a 3-pound tomahawk steak. I don't know if I got a picture of it, but
Oh, of course you do, Ryan. Jesus.
I would like to see the picture of this.
Yeah.
What Phil said, pork mafia Memphis mud is the best dry ribs. I love Memphis mud. Here, I'm gonna go find a picture. Steve, you go right ahead. And
Well, she said she wanted to see it. Who am I to argue with Lee Ann?
I mean, you can send it to me.
No, it's okay.
Take the time.
We already went through the griddle battle. He's already brought up the griddle battle. The only thing he hasn't shown you yet is his Flying Dutchman burger, which shows up on every show.
Oh my God.
There it is. Right on cue.
Wait a second. What is that?
It's the Flying
that's the
Dutchman.
Flying Dutchman burger.
Or an ostrich egg and a tomahawk, and you're
that's coming. I gotta get to the.
Well, that was a hullum.
That was a letdown, Ryan.
It was. I'm kind of disappointed.
I mean, last week or the week before, you had it queued up, ready to go, like it was, Well, now we're just going to stare at you. The two of us are just going to stare at you.
That's all right. That's all right.
Going to give you performance anxiety.
If it was so special, you should have it like in
I can find the stuff on the fly.
special.
Well.
Well, how did you do in that competition, turning that in?
Yeah.
It actually wasn't even a competition. It was just a collaboration cook with other griddle crew members. So it was just fun and a good time to.
I love that. And where do you get an ostrich egg from? The zoo?
I had it. So I live outside of Chicago, but we were in Logan, Utah, at Blackstone, and I had it flown in from New Mexico.
How much did that cost you?
All together with shipping was $90.
That's not that bad.
So $65, $65 for the egg. And I mean, this thing is.
And I'm sure you insured it.
No, I had it shipped a couple. It was actually kind of funny when I opened it up. It was in bubble wrap and everything, and I was like, "What the heck is that?" I opened it up and it was like polka dotted, and I'm going, "What?" They wrapped it in a diaper first, so it had all the cushion around it. I was like, "Why is this thing polka dotted? What are they doing here?"
It was a baby.
And how do you crack an ostrich egg? Might I?
With a really big knife.
He'll have he's got pictures of that too. Or do you get a video? Or you showed it before? Did you get the video or the?
I see you next year.
We're getting there. Where is it?
He's getting there.
I'm having a hard time.
So ostrich egg tomahawk. So did you put the egg on top of the tomahawk? What did you do with it?
We actually cooked the egg in a pan. So it was nice and circular, and then we slid it out onto a pizza pan, and then chopped up the tomahawk and laid it around it with some garlic ciabatta bread.
I think that's fun. I like that.
I would have put the whole egg right on top of the tomahawk, so you could have flipped that egg right off that, grabbed that bone, and thrown that egg right across the room.
Here, I'm gonna share this to myself here.
It's dead air, Ryan. We got dead air going.
Listen,
you made me lose everything. I was my train of thought to ask questions.
Well, anyway, I hope, Steve, that you might take a trip over the world, and I will see you there. And maybe I'll carry a secret Ziploc bag, and I'll be that person.
Or as Harry would say, the ganja bag. The little ganja bags.
It's the first ganja bag ever on the show.
The first ganja bag on the show. But no, I might. I think it's Mark Conway. I think he's the announcer guy.
He is the MC. Yes,
he's the MC. Maybe I'll reach out to him. Maybe I can get a press pass and
I think that would be a very good idea.
And then would allow me to walk around on the floor and
okay.
Do
here
maybe
you go.
Special. There it is. Oh, that was really good. I forgot what it looked like.
And you didn't even break the yolk, huh?
What's that?
You didn't break the yolk, and you got the yolk centered, or was that just pure luck?
No, we actually Michael Greenlee, who I cooked with, I cracked the egg. So there's a story behind it that last year's throwdown, when we did Michael Greenlee and I got paired up together in the throwdown, and we did like a breakfast hash. And everybody gives me a hard time because I go live and I cook breakfast before I go to work. So it's like a 10 or 15-minute live. I'm cooking my breakfast and I'm out the door. So I'm always cooking eggs. So everybody gave me a hard time. Well, I had the eggs, and CJ Frazier is one of the Blackstone pros, said that he doesn't like runny eggs. So we cooked one of the eggs a little bit longer so it wasn't runny, and we set it off in the corner for him. Everything else was perfect.
Right.
And they came around, and everybody tried CJ's one egg. They made us leave, so we didn't get to sit there. And we got deducted for that. So it was like, Nate Lippy, which is another Blackstone pro, came up and he's like, those eggs were perfect 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So we had to step it up. So that's why we did the ostrich egg. But yeah, I took a big knife and I used the back of it to chip around and slowly get it out.
We would have done the same thing. Yeah.
And then, we put it in the pan, and Michael Greenlee with his gloves like just slid the yolk over and moved some of the whites around, so it was right in the middle. And
I figured that something had to be done. Yeah, that's cool.
It came out great. It was a lot of pressure. Everybody was watching. Everybody was giving me a hard time, but it was yes.
I think that's cool. I like that.
But see, that was my point about going to the worlds, and like you were saying, if you get to eat or not. But see, to me, I love watching how cooks and chefs or whatever handle the situations that Ryan was just doing when they did it, and how they move the yolks and the focus that they have. I like watching how intently people do
as
stuff.
I said, that was the first thing I noticed was, it was centered, it was not broken, that obviously people look at that stuff. So Steve, I would recommend reaching out to Mark, or I'll even try to do something, because you need to get certified. I will tell you, sometimes people don't make it and they need fillers. So you might be able to slide into a spot too.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to reach out to him after the show, because I know I wanted to talk to him about something else.
Take the course online, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. I have to look into that. We still got some time. Maybe I can
see. Greg said it's not a ganja bag, it's a Nickelback. But Smoking Griddle Boy says that skills.
Wow.
You kept it. Yes, I kept the shell for $90. I'm keeping the shell. And my good buddy Johnny. Hey Johnny. And then I did see Stephanie Richardson stop in here. I actually just did a giveaway of a Blackstone, and she was the big winner. So she just got that.
Oh, congrats! That's nice.
Yeah. So the story behind the bag was when we had Harry on. I asked him how he got going with the rubs, and he got going. How he contacted the guy in Ohio, contacted him, and he just said, he's like, well, I didn't think anybody would buy my rub. He said, I used to just put it in these little ganja bags, and I'd give them to friends. And I was looking at Ryan and I were like laughing, like, did he just say ganja bag on
that's funny. I've never heard him say that.
Oh no, he said it. I think Steve clipped it and put it into a
with him, and I've never heard him say that.
I clipped it and I made a YouTube short of it, and I'm like, did Harry just say ganja bag? And I'm like, I didn't know anybody still said ganja for one, but I just didn't realize that
was a thing.
That's funny.
Yes, it was $90.
He sometimes goes to the Worlds. I'll have to razz him when I see him.
I think he's going to be at the Worlds, because he asked
if he has any ganja bags.
If he has any ganja bags. Yeah, no, he said he's going to be at the Worlds, because he was wondering if we were going to be there, and we were going to do a barbecue eating in Indianapolis. We're going to do a crawl.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if there's a lot of barbecue places in Indy to crawl to.
Is there any good restaurants? I'll be quiet.
Well, I mean,
the end of October, I'll be there.
I mean, St. Elmo's isn't too bad. I mean,
I know.
Too bad, but
back in the day, I went to Indiana University, and I remember going into Indianapolis and going to some really 5-star restaurant, and that was a long time ago, and it was outstanding.
Yeah, I know, because I go down there for a trade show every fall, and St. Elmo's wasn't bad, and then I think Harry and Izzy's is the other steakhouse that we would go to, and that one's not too
I'm
bad
sure
either.
There's good food there. I mean, it is, a city. So I went to my first White Castle there. It was in Indianapolis.
Now
And
there's
how was
And I
that?
went with my college roommate, funny story, and this motorcycle guy, like with the chains hanging down, was behind me. No, he was in front of me, and it was late night, and he ordered like, I don't know, 20 burgers. And I looked at my roommate, and I didn't know he was listening. I said, did you hear that? He just ordered 20 burgers. And he turns around and he looks at me and goes, and they're this big. And I was like, okay.
Ooh. White Castle sounds good now.
Yeah, that was my first White Castle experience. I will never forget it.
And what did you think of what did you think of the unique
I loved
flavor?
it. I like White Castle now and again. Yeah.
I like White Castle if it's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
It fills a void.
I got to be in the right frame of mind. I mean,
Yeah.
it's greasy food. It's good for a fix now and again.
Have you heard of the Crave case?
No.
It's legitly a briefcase that you walk out of White Castle with, and it's 30 sliders.
Nice.
And you get the briefcase, or you walk in with the briefcase?
What's it's
You
a
walk
box
out,
that
it's a
looks
cardboard box. They put them in their little boxes. They fit them all in there, and it's the Crave case. You just walk out.
yeah.
It looks like a little briefcase full
It
of
looks like a little briefcase.
30 sliders.
Oh, I almost feel like I need to do that.
White Castle's like Spam. See, I love Spam, and but every so often I just get a craving for Spam.
I'll tell you another funny story about Spam. So I lived in Guam, all right, Guam of all places. That's
Which I'm sure they love Spam over there.
And Spam in Guam is big. So
Mm-hmm.
they had this Spam contest. and they had Spam appetizer, main, side, dessert. I mean, they were making it was the most ridiculous thing for this contest. It was all made out of Spam. And like car dealerships would give out pallets of Spam to the big winner. I mean, Spam is big.
Pallet of, I don't know if I could do a pallet of Spam, but I'd like to judge that competition. I every once in a while I get a craving for Spam, and I'll make like Spam macaroni and cheese and just Spam sandwiches.
I will admit, I took Spam and I sliced it and I put pig powder on it and I smoked it and I made a breakfast sandwich with it. And I did, I forget what kind of bread I used, but I did that smoked Spam, an over easy egg, some cheese. Oh, I know what I did. I put on cheese curds on the sandwich. I have pictures.
That would be good.
Yeah, to say the least, I never sold it, but anyway, it was kind of fun creating that out of Spam.
Show a picture, Ryan. There should be a picture in the side in there somewhere. I do have a picture of the pig powder that I believe it's in. Well, at least it's in there. I think it is.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great picture. Yeah, one best rub on the planet. I mean, what's the name of the team that's using it now? And they're killing it in pork. I mean, they're getting perfect scores, grand champion. Oh gosh, why can't I think of their name? Squeal Good, Dr. Squeal Good.
Real good.
I'm not kidding. He is.
I know. There's just,
and you'll see it on his post that he doesn't write pig powder. He writes my name because I send him pig powder because he's killing it.
and now that's your dad's
Dad
recipe.
that. Yeah.
Steve,
My
you guys
and I
carry that
started
or no?
a website, and I'm sitting here with 2 pallets of it right in my apartment. I'm looking at it right now. I just hand carried a pallet of pig powder up 2 floors. Yeah, it's sitting here, and now it's available on Amazon.
There you go.
I'll have to
It
No, I
really
don't.
tastes good. I'm
I
not.
don't-
It's sweet with a little bit of heat, but excellent on pork and chicken.
Well, I'm
I
just
just like.
bam.
I just liked it. I wasn't laughing. I did a Dr. Squeal guy. I tell people all the time when they're talking because they come to the store and they looked at the seasoning wall, and when they get a humor out of what the labels look like, and then they get what people have named some of the products. And I said, well, if you want to have really good time, go search barbecue team names. I said, because the way they can, change the name between pigs and chicken and barbecue and whatever into a name. I said, it's just, they're just hilarious. And that sounds like one of my favorites, Dr. Squeal.
Yeah. There's some, really good names out there. Very creative.
Well,
I told you.
Johnny's a buddy of mine that I've met through TikTok, and
Spam is gluten-free.
he does gluten-free. He does all gluten-free cooking.
Oh, well, my pig powder's gluten-free.
There you go. So get yourself a pig powder and some Spam, and let's see what we can do.
I'm telling you, it works with Spam. It was delicious.
I'll have to get you the. Do you wholesale? Do you wholesale the pig powder?
I do. I have stores that carry it. The Kansas City barbecue store sells it. I just sent them another 10 cases. Yeah.
Should get a
I don't
taste.
have a lot of stores. And by the way, only on my website can you get the 24-ounce guys. Otherwise, you get the little guys, the 12-ounce. So I sell the big ones on pigpowder.com.
Send you
Pigpowder.com.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to send you some pig powder? I don't have any pig powder. I got to get some for myself.
I got to get some for myself too. Actually, I'm going to get some for the store. I'm going to have to message you, email you. I'll try one of the 3 ways of connecting with you, Lee Ann, that we tried. Did one of those emails finally go through, or?
It did. It did, the last one. And what I will do is, were you sending it to my Gmail?
I don't remember which.
I think so. And you know why I didn't get it?
Why?
I was out of storage. I just found that out. So anyway, I've increased my storage. But just stick with the email, the last one. And I would like you to email me both your addresses, and I will ship you personally a bottle of pig powder, and you can try it. And if it's something you want to consider for the store, great.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I'd like to.
Yeah, so
can you autograph it for me?
Sure,
Yeah,
I would love to. That and $1 will get you about 50 cents.
That's all right. Just for us, it's just for
I'll
us.
I'll even go as far as to send you one of my really cool pictures from Barbecue Pitmasters, where I'm holding a log and an axe over my shoulder.
I mean, we love when we get stuff.
We love
like the shed hat.
Yes.
People might have them, but they don't have them.
Okay, all right.
Autographed, yes. So we're barbecue collectors as well as.
Okay, all right. I got
hosts.
you covered. Yeah, we'll have fun with that.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then the hope is one day when Brad's done with flatbread, he'll be standing here in the.
Oh, I'm going to get you a huge stand-up cutout, and you can put Brad's hat right on top of my head.
That'll work too. I could have Lee Ann on one side, and I could have flatbread on the other side.
I feel like your security.
That's really cool that he sent you a hat.
Yeah, I mean, she could stand here, and we could put who's the guest tonight. Could be.
Come on, I had him on my show. He didn't send me a hat. I'm going to give him a hard time. I didn't ask for one though. Did you guys ask for it?
I asked for one.
All right.
It's one of my. The shed is one of my barbecue bucket list places, and the hat has always been I like the hat. So
that is one place I have not been in all my travels.
Yeah, I'm trying to convince myself that I can make it down to the showdown in January. I think that's on my list of things. I even put it into my phone calendar. So.
I definitely want to go. Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe you can go in January. We'll meet up in January.
That's what I'm thinking. Unless it crosses over the Lakeland comp, and that's one I think I'm going to compete in. But yeah, I'm writing it down to look into it though.
Yeah, it's January something or other. Hold on, I got it. I actually put it in my phone.
Don't say like the 24th or 5th or something.
Oops, hold on a second. That's the pay the gas bill. There it is. January. I got January 17th, so it's going to be sometime around January 17th. And 17th was a Friday.
That's a week before Lakeland, I think. So that'll work.
Yeah, see, that might work. Mm-hmm. There you go, Ryan. See, we're getting like this whole Thursday night barbecue chat
road trip.
Yeah, down there.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday night barbecue love.
Thursday, yeah, barbecue love. The barbecue love tour. That's this weekend. So.
Yeah, I missed some stuff on Instagram. I had Blackstone Bros in here, Hodge's Griddle Group. Thanks for coming in, guys.
I'm upset because mine didn't. My Instagram didn't work, but that's okay. I'll practice with it over
the. You'll get it.
Yeah.
The next one will be so. Well, Ryan, what do you think? Is the show over?
I can't believe it's already an hour already. The shows are so much. They've been so much fun lately.
It just really time flies, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does when you have a good. Well, anyway, we didn't mention because Lee Ann and I were talking about it in the green before, right? Mm-hmm. But Lee Ann she is co-host of her own show, Barbecue Nation. And what days is that on?
That comes out usually on Saturdays, I think. It's on a bunch of different radio platforms, and then it converts to a podcast. So, you can go to Barbecue Nation, just Google it, and you'll get to it.
Yeah, so check out some of that stuff.
Yeah, we just had Jess Pryles on, and her show will be out in a week or two, and she's a very interesting person. And also on our show, she makes an announcement that she hasn't announced yet. So you'll be hearing something new from her. It's the first place that they announced it. So that was kind of cool. Ooh. And yeah, then we had Peg Leg Porkers too. I was on with him today, and his show will be out in a week or two. I don't know which one's coming out what, but that's what I like about what you do and what I do is you get to talk to people that you don't see every day, and you would like to talk to them. And, you know, obviously remotely we can do this, and it's fun. And I like the way that you guys are doing yours, which is the same way we do it. It's no questions ahead of time. It's not staged. It's like, let's have a conversation, and whatever happens, happens, you know, and that's the way I like to roll with people, because you really get to know the people better that way.
You think you could nudge Jess Pryles to come on the show? She's been somebody I've been trying.
She hasn't been home in 4 months. That woman stays busy, and she's only been home for 2 days. And she actually told us she wasn't going to be on until next month. And all of a sudden we get an email. She goes, I've got like a minute, I can do it. And she squeezed us in, but she is a very busy lady. And take no offense to it if you reach out to her. It's just that she is busy.
No, I know she's busy. I know. I just sent an email to somebody. I know somebody responded and said that they weren't very nice. They pleasantly declined. But yeah, she is on the guest bucket
list. Yeah.
Yeah, she's on that guest bucket list. I'm getting really close. I've gotten David Mixon to say that Myron might do the show twice, and then Matt Pittman. I've come close to having it scheduled once, and then, but I know that those guys are. I don't know if Myron.
Things happen, you know. It's no offense to you, but you know, like Myron, for example, sometimes things are scheduled, but sometimes things pop up that are out of your control, and he'll have to cancel. You know, it's just don't take offense. It's just the nature of the beast. But
yeah, no, I don't take offense.
I guess I'm not that busy.
Yeah. It is barbecuenation.com, all spelled out, correct?
BBQ Nation.
No, I don't take it as I you know, like I said, it's just always it's part of the guest challenge of like, okay, who can I get? And then it's like, it's almost like you get really excited, like, oh yes, this could be it. And then it's like, oh, maybe next time. So yeah, so that's
sorry about that. Yeah. So Barbecue Nation, we have the trademark on it in the radio field, but somebody else, I don't know, it's kind of confusing. So you'll see different things that pop up with Barbecue Nation, but it's with Jeff Tracy. Maybe that'll get you to it.
I looked up BBQ Nation, and it brought up spelled out barbecuenation.com, and I went to it. It says,
if you go
blocked from this page.
If you go BBQ Nation with Jeff Tracy or with JT, it'll pop up there, and then you'll see where you can get the episodes, and it'll show you everything. So and we're on like YouTube too. So BBQ Nation with Jeff Tracy, and even write episodes, and then it'll all pop up. Oh, and another thing is we have a show coming out. I did a show out in Portland. It's going to be streamed, and it's called Grilling at the Green. So it's 6 episodes. They're done editing. I don't know, like 2 of them. And I think they're going to come out in September or October. But it's cool. It's just, you know, we're cooking, and it's in conjunction with golf. And so we have great golfers on the show. So it's like a combination thing of cooking and golf. It's a lifestyle show. And Jeff and I filmed that out in Portland. And so that'll be out in the fall sometime.
Right. If you're watching, if you're still in here, we still got 8 people in here watching us.
Yeah, but you know, I was looking at that, and I think there's I think there's a record today. Lee Ann didn't win the record for most viewers. But I think she won the.
If I stay on longer, like if I just sit here for the rest of the night, well, maybe
but you have
the better to do, and they wake up, and is that person going to count if they?
he kept their attention. That's what I think what he's getting.
Well,
at.
but I was gonna say she didn't have the record for the most viewers, which don't be surprised. There's not a lot of people that I can't remember who it was. I think it was Tim and Sandy Brown. I think honed the record for that. But I think you got the record for the most reactions. We got 10 reactions.
Oh, okay. I'd rather have reaction than number.
Yeah,
it's quality, not quantity, right?
That means because if they're giving reactions, that means they're paying attention. So that's kind of a So that's kind of
Blackstone's partnered with the PGA.
What about the LPGA?
Yeah.
What about the LPGA? You got to get partners with them too.
We'll have to reach out and let them know. I don't know if it is. Hey, I'm just here.
All right, gentlemen.
We appreciate you coming on, Lee Ann. It's been this hour went by.
My series I'm watching, so I got to take a break.
Oh, what's the series you're watching? Just before you go.
It's like this series, not Jack Ryan, but I just started it, so I don't even know the name of it. It's automatic on Prime for me.
It's on Prime, everybody.
Yeah, it's on Prime.
Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. Taking your time to hang out with us.
It was fun. And if Steve, definitely try to get hooked up with the world. I'd like to see you there. That would be great. And send me your addresses. I'll ship you guys some pig powder and various and sundry things. And it was a pleasure.
All right. Alrighty. Thanks very much. Have a good night.
Okay. Thank you. Good night. Bye.
Wow. Lee Ann Whippen.
Yes.
Another good show. All you people are missing this good show.
I mean, actually, a lot of people we're at 9 right now, so let's see how quick it drops.
Yeah,
we were at 9 at one point over on Instagram. I think I was up to 4 or 5.
Well, that's not
bad.
Count
that 15 plus the 5 over there. Now you're at 20.
Yeah, that's not bad.
No.
Well, and I mean, my 1 or 2 that I would have got from Instagram, if it would have, I don't know what I did wrong with it. I mean, I copied the stream key on there and all that other stuff. I don't have no idea. I'll figure it out. It worked perfectly when I tested it.
Did the preview come up? We can talk about it off the show. Get out here. But guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Another great show. We appreciate it. Well, we are here every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central. Thursday night barbecue chat on the It's All About the Barbecue Blackstone and Beer channel. Are you fishing?
Well, yeah, I was just practicing. Anyway, and I don't really even fish. I was just trying. It looked good on TV.
Look, hey, they almost watched the whole thing. That's awesome. Now we're still here. We went from 8 to 10.
We went up to 10. But that's because I was doing this.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah. It's like full-fledged entertainment. It's not becoming
a bunch of people.
So anyway, so next week Thursday, the guest is up in the air. Was originally going to be Burton Young from the W Sauce. He was going to go, and we were going to talk about the Key West Invitational. But then when I reached out to him just to make sure everything was still a go, he had forgotten that the show is an evening show, obviously, because I used to do the show at 11 o'clock in the morning. And he forgot that is going to be, I believe that is team captain night or something for the Key West Invitational. So he's not going to be able to make it. I have reached out to Dr. Barbecue Ray Lampy, and I almost absolutely positive that it'll be Dr. Barbecue next week. But if not, we'll find somebody else. And then the week after that, so far we are still with Mr. Johnson there from, I think it's Mike Johnson from Sugar Fire is going to be on. So we got a couple good guests, and then I'm working on trying to fill September. So, and hey, September 5th, Ryan, if we follow through with the next 2 shows, September 5th will be our 50th episode of Thursday Night Barbecue Chat.
Yeah. So, yeah, I really think we should. Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll figure it out. See who we can get in there for it.
All right, everybody. Thanks again to Lee Ann Whippen for coming on. If you can get to that pigpowder.com or whatever, order her product. And after she sends it here to the store, I'm going to reach out. We may have it at Wanamaker, so keep an eye out if there will be an announcement if it is coming there. And then for those of you that are in the Chicago area, I do a last shout out for the people that are still in here. This Sunday at 11 o'clock at Beach Avenue Barbecue in Brookfield will be our August stop of the Barbecue Love Tour. Come on out. They have fantastic breakfast, and it's amazing.
Yeah. I'm hoping to make it out there. We have a soccer game And I think I can make it about 11:15, 11:20. So just depending on if we can get out of there right away.
And as always, it is always my dream for Barbecue Love Stops is if we can go to one place and just
Fill it up.
pack it so full of people that it's insane. So
I
if
mean,
you
we
can,
want
in the
everybody
area,
to eat, but
Huh?
I'd love to see people standing outside waiting.
yeah.
That'd be
So
awesome.
anyway, everybody have a good week. We will see you next week. Ryan, good to see you as always. And remember, as always, shop local, shop small, support your small local store. I know it's easy to order on the internet, but if you don't come to a local store, you don't get to meet people such as myself. And who doesn't want to meet people like me? So,
Riddles and riddles, dude, but you left.
I
Anyways,
left early. Everybody have a great night. See you next week.
see you later.